What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Be the Light podcast with your host. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Sierra.
We're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to be raw, real, and relatable.
Let's light it up.
So you mentioned Shane.
Yes.
That's his name, right? Your fiance.
Yes, that is him.
And he's from Iceland or Sweden?
He's from Ireland.
Ireland. But you met him in the States.
Yes, I met him in Nashville.
What the heck? Tell us so many stories like that. Let's hear it.
So actually, it was the summer going into my junior year. Oh my God, that summer was massive, of university. So in 2017, I was randomly asked by Billy Lewis. Do you remember him from Murfreesboro Strikers?
No.
Nah, it's okay, never mind. But he was coaching at a summer camp in Nashville or like Mount Juliet, Hendersonville, somewhere in there, and was like, hey, this guy like is running a soccer camp and he needs like more coaches. You want to work with me? And I was like, all right, sounds good, I guess. I have nothing to do this week. And so I went to the camp to start setting up for a session, and Shane was also working. And he like was like setting the whole thing up. I didn't realize like who he was. And it's so crazy because the minute I like actually like laid eyes on him, I didn't know what it was, but I was like, I can't disappoint you for some reason. I don't even know you. I don't know why I should care, but like I cannot disappoint you for some reason. And I don't want to mess up in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually like didn't really talk that day. And so the week goes on and we maybe had small chats here and there throughout the week, but I'd actually kind of had like a crush on him, and I was like, yeah, but I'm going to Mobile. So just nope, going back to school. So a couple years or throughout the years, we kind of like kept up, not really like, text or anything, but like we'd work the same camp the next summer or bump into each other. And I remember the summer after my senior year when I decided to take that break, we actually bumped into each other in Chattanooga. I went to watch my buddy play for Chattanooga, and he was playing with the Nashville team, but he had just torn his ACL, so he was watching. And at halftime, we ran into each other. It's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And we just like we were just starting to catch up through the halftime. And I was with somebody, and I sent him back, and I was like, hey, I'll catch up with you in a minute. I'm gonna keep chatting with Shane. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, like we've worked together. It'll be all right. And so at the time I had known right then, like when I left our conversation, I was like, oh, this is not good. Like, cause I'm dating him, but okay. So I ended that relationship, and we ended up working together over the next year, like as I guess like marketing for this soccer camp. It's like kind of an academy too, so we had just like gone to do like flyers occasionally and stuff, and still neither of us said anything because I was like, I might be going abroad. I don't want to start anything if I'm like not gonna be here, because I have the idea like when I was dating, like date to marry, not date to have fun.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm not gonna start anything if I can't like be here, and I don't know where I'm going to be in a year. So crazy enough, after my first year in Iceland, my teammate was out hanging out with people, and I was incredibly lonely. So I was like, I'll just put myself on like an app and put me back in Nashville and just talk to somebody for the evening, just to like, I don't know, have a conversation. Cause like, again, I was like by myself, and she comes strolling in normally around 3 a.m. I was like, there's no point going to bed. So crazy enough, he pops up on it, and I was like, what in the world? So like I didn't touch it for 2 weeks. I swear to God, I didn't swipe either way for 2 weeks, because I was like, if I mess this up, because I had already like I hadn't dated anybody in 3 years, and he'd always been in the back of my mind, and I was like, that's weird. And so I like left it, and then when I got back to the States, I finally swiped, and we just start chatting, and we were like, we'll just go get a coffee, catch up. It was so casual. I didn't know if we were like on a date or not, because we were just like catching up on our lives, and it was very easy going. And after we hung out 2 or 3 times, I was like, were these like dates, or are we just like catching up? And he's like, oh, I wanted them to be dates, but like if you're not feeling that way. And I was like, no, I wanted them to be dates. And then crazy enough, 3 months later, we were like, we should get married. He's like, all right, yeah. And here we are.
So y'all met for
So-
coffee over there or in Nashville?
in Nashville. So we met
Does he live in
in,
Nashville?
so he actually went to Tribeca. He just graduated from Tribeca.
Gotcha.
So
So y'all did long distance for a while.
we did long distance for about a year. So over my last contract, because I met him at the end of my first year in Iceland, came back, was home for the winter. We dated for the winter. And then actually the day I flew back to Iceland for my first year with this team, he asked my dad for his blessing. And then we were actually supposed to get married in January. And then I had visa problems. He had visa problems. So we had to push the wedding. So now we're getting married in December. And we're actually going to be signing our papers probably in the next like 2 weeks, just because the both of us have said like we want to like be married if we're living together. And yeah, so now that he's here, he's working, we were like, we need to like sign our papers, because also like we don't want another visa issue again, like for like a fiance visa. We're like, forget it. Like we've been so patient trying to get this done. We'll just sign our papers. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys.
That's exciting.
Is he with you right now?
he
Is he in the
is,
room?
yeah. He's
Does he
playing
wanna say
FIFA
hi?
right now. I can ask him. He's playing. I told him he had to have his headset on. I didn't want him to listen to me.
I feel that.
Yeah, but yeah, so he's been here for a couple weeks now, but with him being from Ireland, it's so easy for him to just land and work. Like for us, we would have to have work permits lined up and everything, but he was able to just land, get a job, and here we are. So he's been here for about 5 or 6 weeks now. Whenever graduation was, he graduated from Tribeca in May, and then he flew out here.
Sweet.
That's awesome. So what does he do?
So currently he's working at a cafe. Because so like here in Iceland, it's so wild. You have to have like your social security number here before you can do like anything. Like a gym membership, you need to have it. You want to go and buy a microwave, you need to have it. I swear, you need to, I know, yeah, you have to have it for literally everything. So he had to get a job, so he took
Maybe we
this
need
cafe.
to do some of that.
You're not wrong. So he just was applying for some jobs, and this one popped up. I swear he saw the job on like a late Wednesday, put in his application, got a call Thursday morning, and had the job that afternoon. And I was like, well, that was easy, great. So now, crazy enough though, I swear he's playing like in a Sunday league kind of soccer as well. His job and soccer, he thought he'd have to learn Icelandic. He has to learn Spanish. There's so many Venezuelan people here. That's all he play like soccer and who he works with. Crazy enough. But there's so many internationals that come in for the summers for the tourist season to work. So like, but I didn't put that together when he got the job at the cafe, because I was like, well, the owner's from New York. Maybe like the guy's, the husband or whatever, he's from the States, or he's from Iceland, so maybe he does the hiring. No, they're all Venezuelan, every single one. So it is crazy.
Is Iceland like a melting pot? There are a lot of
yes, it is recently becoming that. So I think that I can't remember how many people we were talking about the other day. I think they're trying to bring in 10,000 people this year, like to actually stay and live here, because they want to start making this country more popular and just like really like diverse, because I don't want to say like only till a few years ago, but like this place is so small that literally just about everyone's related. And I think that they're trying to like make some things up, because I promise you there is an app here. So let's say somebody goes out and they meet somebody, they're at a coffee shop, they get to chat and they want to meet up. They literally have to check an app with their social security to be like, we're
to make sure they're not related.
Oh, wow.
Where it is really a thing. I've seen it happen with my own eyes, and I was like, this is crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
So what's the weather like today in Iceland?
So this year has actually been like one of the worst winters they've ever had. So it is only just getting to be like a long sleeve temperature for me. Like
What's
I-
the degree?
That is a great question. I only know it in in
So is it-
Celsius.
Is it winter here or there right now?
No, so it is summer, but
Oh.
we sit so high above like the states that hot here is not hot. Okay, like the girls be tanning when it's 55 degrees out Fahrenheit. Yeah, no, they're crazy. But
That's cold.
that's why I'm saying I cannot get color. I have tried tanning and it does not work. I swear.
So
But
what's
like
the
I'd
Celsius there today? I'll Google it.
12, and that's like a
Oh.
relatively high day right now.
Oh. Celsius. Fair enough. 53 degrees.
Yeah, and today
And
was
that's
like a
the
higher day.
high for the summer?
Nor like the record I know in Fahrenheit is like 68 here.
Well, that's
Wow.
good soccer playing weather.
Yeah.
It is. It really is so nice. We actually went up north a couple weeks ago and they have like the best weather. Small city where I was originally my first team where I played. So sunny. It's gorgeous. It's so warm. We went up there a couple weeks ago and the girls were like, oh my God, like freaking out. I'm like, it's 61 degrees. You're fine. They're like, this is like Spain. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not like Spain.
Did you tell them you should go try a preseason in Mobile?
I did. And then actually one of my teammates is actually playing with me this season from college. And she said the same thing. She's like, I'm from Canada. When you go Canada Mobile, you have no clue. This is like was waving them off as well. They are so funny about the weather here. Like I was telling you, the winter has never been this bad. It has been like record breaking worst winter ever. We
How
had
cold
like
does
a
it get?
gorgeous. I played a match in March when it was -20 Celsius with like the wind
What's
chill.
that? Google.
Or 12 Celsius, like 53. So negative would be like,
Negative what?
-20. That was like with the wind chill and everything.
I don't think that's right.
it's 20 degrees. That's not negative though.
Oh,
Would it make
Hang
it
on.
just negative?
-20. -4 degrees.
Yeah.
I think this
That's
past
what it
year we
was.
had 2 days where it was like 0, right? And I thought after having 0, it made 30 degrees feel so warm.
Mhm.
Right. And that makes so much sense why these girls are like tanning when it breaks like 42 degrees. They're like, like, I totally understand. I'm just like not on board with it yet. And I refuse. Like,
Yeah.
I won't do it. Like, yeah, but we've played in like -20 outside, even though every club here basically has an indoor full field. They're like, yeah, let's play outside. They're mad. But yeah, it can get quite cold, but like this year, like I said, has been unlike any other. So we're only just now breaking into double digits according like to Celsius. So like the last 2 weeks have been decent. Like it's been gray for the most part, but I've been told that like Hafnarfjörður, Garðabær, Reykjavik are that cloudier city where like the north is like gorgeous. When people like want to go get away for a weekend, they go to the north and it's like sunshines and rainbows. So we might be going north here soon. I need some sunlight.
What time is it over there right now?
It is currently 9:52.
At
And the
night?
sun's still up?
Oh yeah, it's 24 hours of light right now.
Oh, so Alaska's kind of like that too. They have 24 hours, or it's like dark for a little while.
Yeah.
So you guys have
Yeah.
light for 24 hours?
Yeah, so in the summer we have 24 hours of light. And so like I would say it gets a little bit darker than this for like the darkest it gets. And then when the winter comes around, we get like 3 or 4 hours of light. And then it's like pitch black.
Wow.
I don't think I could do that.
So are y'all like on the same like level as Alaska?
That
As
is a
far as,
great question. I actually have no idea.
coordinate?
I have no idea. I've only ever looked from like the main states to where I am and then to like Europe. I've never actually looked left. That's a great question.
Iceland on a map. Okay. Oh, it's an island.
Right. So, well, I guess this is what an island is, but
We're having a geography lesson today.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
You
is
are
kind
totally
of
fine.
oh yeah, like
yeah.
over.
I don't know if I can show you on this, but like, yeah, you're like neck and neck. Look,
Okay.
look at you.
I learned something new today. Look at that. Yeah, I honestly had not a clue. I just know that with where the States is, Iceland sits a bit higher, and then like Europe is out here. And like I haven't really looked past that.
So how often do you get to come home? Or do you come home?
So normally up into this year, I would come home like October-ish to like February, give or take. And then this year I came back the first week of January, and then I won't come home till beginning of November because that's when my dress appointment is. That is the latest that they could do it before the wedding.
Are y'all
So-
having a reception in Nashville?
Yeah, we're gonna actually get married in Nashville. We still had like everything that we had booked for January, we just like pushed to December. So
Oh, okay.
and we figured now that he's working, when my off season is, we're like, we could probably like stretch it to Christmas and then fly right back. So yeah, we're gonna get married at 1410 in Nashville. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's
I don't
like
know.
I think it's I want to
Oh,
say it's on
yes.
the west side of Nashville.
I think I have seen it. Yes.
Yeah. It's like it's not like a really like bougie looking place, but like it's a cute little industrial that they've redone to like a
Yeah.
rustic inside. So it's
Nice.
yeah, it's really cute. We actually before I left last year, I told him I was like, hey, if we're gonna get married like next off season, we gotta look at venues like now. And he's like,
Mhm.
and I was like, no, we have to. So we booked
Yeah.
3 venues. The first one, I think he had said something like, I don't know if we should look at a venue till I talk to your dad. And I was like, when are you gonna talk to my dad? Because like the appointment's like in an hour. And so we canceled it. And then we went to the second venue was 1410. And I told him, I was like, listen, you got like 7 days, talk to Jim, or we gotta like go before you talk to him because they don't have another opening. And he was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So we went to 1410. He did not talk to Jim. And we both walked around, I think 5 minutes, and we were like, this is it. Yep, this is good. We didn't hear any of the pricing, nothing. We're like, this is good. Like, and
Yeah.
then we canceled the third one. We were just like, we stood there. We were like, we can envision our families like getting to know each other here. Cause honestly, our wedding day will be the only time our families probably are around each other. Like,
Right.
truly. So like we talked about our day, like being not just like our wedding and our day, but like it is really the merging of 2 families. And that is probably the
Mhm.
only time they will really be face to face with each other. And so we purposely booked a photographer that wouldn't be attached to the hip with us. And so that they will capture all these moments of like my dad meeting his mom and, you know, just really seeing our families together, because we're big on like wanting to have these memories and these moments for later, like for when we have kids, because I've never really seen pictures of my parents, like when they were young. I've seen like one high school picture of my father and like a handful of my mother. And
Mhm.
we talked about like we want our kids to see that like 1, we like love each other, and 2, our lives, you know, what this looks like and what it has been, so we can tell this story and not just like bits and pieces, you know, through the years of what we can remember, but like what really happened, you know. So we booked I think that is the only thing that we have booked is our photographer. Because it is so difficult planning a wedding abroad. It is so
I
difficult.
could
I
only
bet. I
imagine.
cannot.
I could only. I'm sure it's a lot of FaceTiming.
Yeah, so I actually hired Chelsea Russum's sister to do the
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
I gave it a go. And so I was like, Ashley, you got it. But
Yeah,
I
I would.
really don't, and I don't think that like these wedding planners understand like the freedom. Like
Mhm.
we briefly talked about this. Like I had a friend that was wanting to be a wedding planner, like start to finish. She'd never done it. And I was like, Emily, girl, you got it. She's like, okay, like I'd love to. And I was like, yeah, just our wedding is your canvas. You do as you please. She's like, what?
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, literally whatever you want to do. Like, we'll be happy. It's going to be cute. You're not going to let me down. And she was like, okay, well, like, what are the colors that you picked? I was like, whatever you want. And she's like, this is not my day. And I was like, I genuinely don't care. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you want to do. I think that gave her too much freedom, so she couldn't do it. So I've got Ashley now. And Ashley knows me so well that I was like, girl, just call Jim. And she's like, okay. Like, it's so much
You want
better.
to shout out her company for those listening?
That is a great idea. I should probably know her company. I just know Ashley. Like,
Right, you have a personal connection.
yeah, like Ashley is
We like
just,
to give small business shout outs.
wow, I probably should know. This is not a good look for me, considering
You're
I hired her. Oh my days. And now I'm on Chelsea's page trying to find her because I have no idea why I can't find her on mine. And Chelsea, I don't know the last time she posted Ashley.
I know, I'm going blank on the company too.
But I also, in all fairness, I think she just changed her name. If I'm not
really?
mistaken. Yeah, like I know that her and Chelsea were partnered at one point because she does all the
Mm-hmm.
videographer. There we go. That's the word. All the videographer stuff. And now I think they have kind of parted ways now that Ashley has moved to Knoxville, just because it got like
Okay. Hard.
really difficult. The Gathering Good Company. I think that's
Got
what
it.
is.
Yeah, that
Wow,
sounds
that
right.
took me a long time to find.
It's
But yeah, she just moved to Knoxville, and most of her business is still through Nashville. They just moved. So Ashley knows just about everybody in Nashville, all the people, the vendors, everything. She knows way more obviously than I do about weddings. So it just like takes a huge load off. She was like contacting me yesterday. She's super good about that because I forget everything because I'm not there. And she was like, hey, don't forget, like, we have to do like plates and this and that. And I was like, oh, that's good timing. Yeah, I didn't know that we needed plates. So, like random things like that. I just like I said, I think I'm a very unique bride though, because like I genuinely don't care what it looks like. Because it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be great either way. Like, I'm not gonna remember a centerpiece of like what kind of flower. Like, I had a wedding planner ask me, she's like, what kind of flowers? And I was like, white, I guess. And she's like, okay, but like what kind? And I was like, I don't know. And then she's like, okay, well, what kind of greenery? And I was like, I'm sorry, did you just ask me what kind of greenery after what just happened with the flowers? Like, come on now. Put the thing with the other and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be great. Like, we genuinely do not care about the small things like that. We are just so adamant about making sure our people are there the evening that we have, celebrating with our families, and just for the day for what it is. And just because I do think a lot of times people do get caught up in the smallest of details, the smallest of things. And I understand like everybody wants that to be the perfect day and the perfect everything. Something's always going to happen. I'm not going to lie. There's always going to be one thing. It's not going to be perfect. It's not. But as long as like everybody's there, we're going through it together. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
Correct. Yeah. At my wedding, my makeup artist bailed the day before.
Stop.
Literally at the rehearsal dinner, I got a message.
For what reason? What happened?
It's just she was sick, but she had been sick for every appointment that I should have known by the second time we had to reschedule the trial, but whatever, but ended up Sam's little sister Zoe ended up doing all of our makeup.
It looks good.
And it honestly, that other girl would have made me look so fake and not myself. And Zoe's was super, like, much more what I would have wanted anyway. So.
And Zoe's like adorable. So how could you not,
And this is what she did. She came, did our makeup, played a state league game, and then came back to the wedding after the game.
What a girl. What a woman.
That's the kind of people I need in my life, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I actually got the opportunity to coach a little bit, or at least like pop by with Stewart's Creek. So I got to
Oh,
see Zoe the last couple, at least a couple of times her senior year. So that was really fun.
yeah,
And I got to help out with that TSC group of hers. Because I
nice.
believe it was Enrique had me come by.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wanted me to talk about our college fitness test, which
Oh,
explains and says so much that all you need to know. Um,
gosh.
but yeah, Zoe is such a little sweetheart. I enjoyed getting to chat with her. I haven't seen Sam in years though. I think I've seen Zoe more times than I have Sam since we
Yeah,
stopped since the strikers parted.
yeah, she's in Knoxville.
Is she in Knoxville now?
That's where she went to school and she lives there. I
Oh,
know
okay,
it's
we're
very
talking about
sad.
Sam.
Sam, yes, but Zoe is
Okay.
going to UT, of course. Yeah.
Everyone goes UT, MTSU, and that random wild card, Western Kentucky.
Yeah. Very true.
Oh my gosh.
You got anything else? What you got?
No, not really.
So to finish us off here, Colleen, we every week we do our blessing and our lesson of the week.
Oh, okay.
So think about that for a minute. Do
I
you have your
appreciate you
blessing
giving
and
me time.
lesson of the week?
Okay. For mine, I'll go ahead. Blessing is I got to go travel to St. Louis this past week to go to work, and I got to speak and do a training for vendors. I was really nervous and I was shaking, but I'm glad I did because they ended up taking the PowerPoint that I created and sent it out to multiple different departments. And it was just kind of a
That's
blessing in general, just to
awesome.
kind of like not feel qualified to do that, but step into that position and now kind of like make a name for myself. But it was very nerve wracking. Lesson, I
Understand.
would say, I don't know. Let me think about the lesson. You
Okay.
go ahead.
My lesson this week is I just had a good family weekend. We celebrated Father's Day, so that's always just a blessing. I don't get to always see my brother and his girls, so we got to do that. And then Sunday hung out with Jordan's family, so that was all good. My lesson for the week is something that I said to Jordan while we were just having a conversation, and it was just to not get so like focused on what the world sees as success or that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If it's not bringing you joy, then it's not where you need to be, and it's not where the Lord wants you to be, because he doesn't bring anxiety and fear. That's all the enemy. And so if that's what you're getting, you probably need to check and see what you're putting your fulfillment in that situation. So just always seek fulfillment from the Lord first before anything else, before you try to do something.
Mhm.
What, you got a blessing or a lesson, Colleen?
Yes. My blessing actually is that Shane's mother got to come over and hang out for a few days. It's the first time she's gotten to see the two of us since we got engaged, like together, because she came and visited a couple months ago and it was just the two of us. So it was a blessing that we got to have her here, actually host her, and bring her into our lives, because I think collectively there's been maybe 3 months now her way. So now she's kind of getting to come our way. And it's just such a blessing that like his mother is the way that she is, because I would say Leslie brings something different that my parents don't actually bring. And it's like, it sounds crazy to say it like that. Like, I love my parents. They are awesome. But Leslie brings just a totally different view from like a parent side. And so I feel incredibly lucky and blessed to have Leslie as my mother-in-law, because she is just like totally different, and like in a sense of just like the way that our relationship is, how we communicate, the jokes, and and all of that. And it's just a huge blessing to now have like a bonus parent like that. So, and just getting to have that quality time and have her come here and see our lives, not just talk about where we're living, but actually see and understand and really like live and see where her son is as well, and not just like where I am, but where her son is now staying in our life and what it can be. So that's the blessing.
Good in-laws are definitely a blessing.
Yes. Yes.
For
Oh.
sure.
Mhm. Do you have
My
yours?
lesson, yeah, it's gonna be a little cheesy, but and it's to not give your fiance the duty of watering your flowers out front because they will forget. I've been trying to revive these for the last couple of days. When I left, I guess he didn't water them, and I didn't really like stay on them to water them. But now I'm back, and they're like struggling. So I couldn't think of anything else.
That's amazing.
You're
Noted.
man.
Which is
Noted.
weird because like with the garden and stuff, he's fine, but with the plants, like with the little cute little flowers and plants, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair though, I can't keep plants alive either. Like I killed a cactus. So
Me
like
neither.
that's
Same.
why
Yeah.
Same. I drowned a cactus.
I drowned a cactus. Like, what is
Well,
this?
I'm trying.
my cactus I had, it was July, so I was like, I'm gonna put it outside so it can get some nice sun and heat. And one of them random summer showers popped up and just drenched it. And it was like so puffy, like if you shook it, the water was just moving around inside the cactus.
Well, at least like,
good, but-
Mother Nature, like I just flooded it. I was like, just dumped it. I was like, it probably needs water now. Like I wasn't thinking, and I killed it. So that's why we only have fake plants. I know myself, I believe in him, but also like we probably won't have real flowers. So I know better.
I think they're pretty. It's so hard because like for me, there's so many different flowers and there's so many different rules. Like you can't water this one this many days, but you can water this one. This one needs sunlight. I'm like, I don't know what needs what.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's just a lot of work for a plant. And like I respect it and like good for people who got that under control and can, that's not me. I know my role.
Mhm.
And I would say my lesson before I forget, my lesson this week was actually just a reminder of what I was actually talking about earlier. Like there's always somebody that needs that bit of positivity and that bit of hope or just even understanding, just a listening ear, being a soundboard, something. Because like I said, this teammate that just tore ACL, she was a big part of our team. She was like the super sub, every player wants to play the 90 minutes, but she was the super sub. And the last 4 or 5 games she's come in, she scored a big goal, put the game away, so that was her role. And now she's sitting in a moment of, not being able to play the rest of the season. She just moved to this team this year. And, she was the reminder that I needed, or not because of her situation, but because we had the time to sit down. Now that I'm injured, she's injured, I had time to chat with her and express how important she is. Just because she can't play the minutes does not mean she's not a part of this team. The whole group is behind her 1,000%, all of this. And she's like, it's so nice to hear. And I was like, well, you should know this, silly. And she's like, I know, but it's just nice to hear. And that reminder, that lesson, it is nice to hear, even if you think someone knows it, that positive energy or the uplifting comment, that little something that just can bring a smile to their face, goes so far beyond. And so I think that was my lesson this week, is when I had that time with Sarah, just really digesting it, because I know how I feel right now, and then putting myself in her shoes. And that was a big lesson for me, is understanding that journey that she's about to be on, and the commitment. If she's going to put that commitment in, all of us need to put that commitment in with her, and not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. Like if she's going to go to the gym, one of us need to go to the gym, go to the gym with her. She's admitted, hey, if I go by myself, I'm probably not going to do all my reps, because I'm one of those people too. I totally understand. So making sure being there for her. She is one that we can count on, on the field, and we should be the people she can count on off the field, just as much. So I would say that's my lesson, is that little comment can go just a long way for the day, that one thing. So
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely. And if you're thinking it, like, say it.
Right.
I feel like we're quick to say the negative things, but if you think something positive, like, say that.
And
as well.
why are we so quick to like to be hesitant on to say the positive things, you know, like I
Mm.
just like that situation. I don't know if you heard this episode, but one day I was at work and this little girl was in the bathroom washing her hands, and I just happened to be in the bathroom too. And I could tell she wanted to say something to me because she kept looking up at me, like, and she was probably 10 or 11 years old, but it took her a minute. And then she finally said, you know, I think you're really pretty. And it made me perk up, and I returned the favor, you know, but like, why was she so hesitant? You know, like,
I don't know.
we're just, we do.
You're scared of people's reactions, or if
Yeah.
they're gonna think you're weird or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, like, honestly, I think it's there is that hesitation because it is not common, you know,
Mhm.
to voice that
Mhm.
comment. So then when we have, you know, some of these people that have the thought and they're like, "Ooh, do I say it? Do I not? Do I?" You know,
Right.
it's a little bit of panic, but even though you know it's just
Yeah.
gonna put a smile on their face, you know, like
Yeah.
right now, like I said, I'm injured. I've got a girl that stepped into my spot right now. And crazy enough, like nobody believes this, but like I just sent her a text on her first game day, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna kill it today. I'm so proud of you. You've been working so hard for this, and I have no doubt you're gonna do amazing today. I hope and pray that you are gonna do your absolute best because you deserve it." And I'm on the sideline. The minute she makes her first tackle, I am in her face, like cheering her on, you know.
Yeah.
And the girls were like, "What is happening?" There can be healthy
Well,
competition.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's easy and natural to be selfish because that's just the way we're wired as humans, you know, and
Yeah.
just that being encouraging to others and taking time to recognize somebody else. People are like, "Whoa,
Right.
what's going on
It
with
is-
her?"
It is so uncommon here, honestly.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but like I'd sent a message actually to everybody last Monday because, well, it was the first game I couldn't play. So I was like, I'm normally that voice on the field. So like, how can I make up the difference here? And so I just sent everybody in the squad a message. And I didn't just say like, "Happy game day, let's get 3 points," but like talked about their strengths. Like,
Right.
you're so important because of this. You make a difference because of that. You know, your energy on the field lifts me. The way that you communicate only pushes me to be better. Like, the reason I say we go again is because of the fight that you have. Like, just
You're not just saying something that's like generic. You're kind of diving into like what you see about them, which makes it more personable.
yeah. And I can't tell you, Monday when I'm in the locker room and I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs because I'm not playing for the day and I'm like trying to figure out what I'm doing. So then I'm eating like gummy bears, like just chilling. And how many of those girls come over and be like, "Thank you so much. Like, I needed to hear that from somebody." And it just breaks my heart that, you know, even like in my team, we are all collectively moving to one goal. We want to win. If you know that one thing, or you see that they're absolutely crushing it today, and you can't just recognize me like, "Hey man, you killed it today." Come on now. Like, that's only going to make us better, you know,
Yeah.
Right.
collectively as a group. And like, it blows my mind. And a part of me thinks that it's because it's like uncommon to think that way. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I forget, like I'm put here for a reason, you know, and I'm getting that. But like, it really does just blow my mind that like it took this long. Like, I've been here since January, and we were doing these like team text, and like someone sent it to someone, and everybody's gonna get a turn, and like that just like fell off the face of the earth. So like I took it upon myself to send it to everybody, some of these strengths. And it's sad that it took till June for these girls who have been here since November to feel important. That blows my mind. From one of their teammates, not just the coach being like, "We needed you today," or like someone being like, "You got a goal." Boom. But like, no, you are important on and off the field. The way that you carry yourself makes me better, you know, and all these things. And expressing like, "Hey, the challenges that you have overcome this year are absolutely incredible. And I could not be happier for you that you're getting minutes." Like, blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I just think it's because they've never experienced that before. So like, they are so like they needed that. And
Yeah.
it breaks my heart. It really does, because
Yeah.
I know how important those kind of comments were to me as I was even just growing up in the game. And to the fact of, we have like a lot of young girls on this team. Like I have a 16-year-old, 15, 16-year-olds on my team. And I'm like one of the oldest, like at 26. You're like, there's a big gap there. And the fact that like I even hit some of these like 20-year-olds, and I'm like, hey, you have stepped up so much in the last few weeks since you've gotten back from school. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you really are changing the dynamic of the group.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I even was at school and I wasn't getting this kind of reassurance, and my coaches don't really, and the teammates there don't. And I'm like, that is so sad. And it like breaks my heart. And so like, I've really like made it a point in the last week to even our group, be each other's hype girls. Like, I don't understand why we can't do that for each other. Like, celebrate their wins. They're going to do the same for you. When it's your turn, we're going to lift you. When it's their turn, you lift them. Like, there is still healthy competition in a team if you let it be healthy. You can make it nasty real fast, but there can still be healthy competition. And I think that is so lost in the competitiveness of the end result of a match.
Well, and I think
And
that's
jealousy.
that's just such a God perspective, is to look at somebody and see the good, like, God is patient. He's encouraging. He does not boast. That's what the Bible tells us about how to love. And that's what you're doing there. And I don't think people understand that. When people don't have a foundation, and we'll just say with God, they may not realize that the enemy uses that too. That's a door that the enemy kicks wide open, and they don't even realize that that's what's happening. And so to just have something to compare to, which is what you're doing, you're the light on that team, and the way the light works is it spreads, it lights up the darkness, and you doing that to your team is going to show these girls a different way to compete. And then that will spread through whatever teams they end up going on to, or whoever they come in contact with. So it's just an awesome thing that you're doing over there.
Yeah. I like, and again, I wasn't even like really thinking of it in that way till you explained it that way. I just like being nice to people. Like, there's no need to not, encourage someone in things. Yeah. Like I totally agree with you.
It's not anything you really consciously do. It's just because of that foundation, that relationship with you have. It just overpours. It flows out, the Lord fills your cup and it runs over, So you may not consciously realize that's what's happening, but that's what's happening.
Right.
You can't give something that's not already in you, like you can't fake that,
Yeah. No, I agree with you spot on. Like, and I'd say like, until like you said, until I said that right there, and then you came back to me, like I really didn't see it that way. You know what I mean? Like, and it sounds bad to say it like that, because I know like I try to have conversations with people about the Lord, and they ask me like, oh, you're positive and stuff, but like thinking of it in that direction, I hadn't really done it. I just was like in my head thinking, oh, I'm just going to be nice to this person, hopefully they'll smile today, like, and that's just really it. It sounds so like it sounds so simple, but like it is. Part of it is simple. It'll start to make them, question like, okay, why is she so happy all the time? Or, like, why is she so positive to me? We're literally competing for the same spot. And why is she like encouraging me to take, like I even told my coach that. I was like, I told Beard now, I hope she outplays me, because then I have to be better when I get back. Like, and he was like,
there you go.
He even turned his head and she was like, what? And I was like, I know you've never heard that from anybody that you're competing with. And I understand. Take a moment, process it, come back to me, because it's not. It is not a thing. Nobody ever, especially at that kid's age, is like, hey, like, I'm so glad that you're taking my spot. I hope you absolutely crush it and make me work harder.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen.
It's just selflessness, which is what Jesus would do, which in turn, I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a while. Your story is just a good example of, man plans, God laughs. And then trying to control things by yourself and it just being that much harder instead of just, laying it down, being like, God, I don't know what you want from me, help me. And then the way the doors just fly open at that point, So thank you so much.
Yeah,
Of
this was
course.
good.
Yes, no, thank you guys for letting me, be a part of this and, come on here and share my story, but also just like great conversation bouncing back and forth. Like, because as much as like, yeah, for a podcast and stuff, like I got a lot even out of this conversation, just spiraling off of after talking about Shane, but like just it's opened my eyes even a bit more on some things that I didn't realize. So I really do appreciate it. And maybe I can come back on here for another one. I have another awesome story.
Well, that's what I was thinking, that visa process might be a whole nother podcast on its own.
Yes. If you got like 3 hours, because we had 3 visa problems. So it might be,
Oh Lord.
oh yeah, it's so much.
Is there anything you want to plug, like your other podcast you're working on? Anything? Your team, whatever?
I mean, I can just kind of say like I play like technically in Hafnarfjörður, Iceland. So it's just south of Reykjavik, the capital. We're in the top league right now. We just got promoted. And we were predicted to fall out. We were predicted last. And we are now sitting 4th, tied with 3rd place. We are in the semifinal of the cup. So if we win that match and then we win the final, we're now playing in European League, not just Iceland. And I cannot advocate more for the girls that we've put into this team, because like in the time that our coaches have spent, like as much as the club, gives us a field and things, it is the coaches and it is the girls. They have put so much, and the board members that have just stepped in to really just put all this into action. Because for a team that didn't lose a game last season, gets promoted with 2 of the Americans deported mid-season, and crazy.
You being one of them?
Yes, I was deported. It's going to be a super fun story. And, to then lose half our roster, lose half our squad from being pregnant or quitting or moving and whatever. And like we won the league and everyone's like, let's have babies. So like we lost like half our team. And so with that being said, to have a brand new squad with the statistics showing that we are not going to deliver, we are just going to fall right back down in the league and out of this table, to come in and beat some of the bigger names that have like run Iceland for some reason. And them now being scared of this group is just unreal. It's been a blessing to watch this unfold, what actually like hard work and dedication and all these things actually have paid off with. So for FHOW, like it's a huge step on the women's side, and like the women's game is now becoming such an important part of the country now. Everyone just watches the men's game, but like we've actually been in all the papers the last 2 weeks about how we're like shattering like the standards and like having people watch our games. Like our matches are now like one of the most streamed in Iceland. They like go back and watch it on like the TV channel because they're like, how is this team doing it? But it's been incredible just to like be a part of, watch from afar. This group has been unreal. So I'd say like all that to say like, there's a reason I want to finish my career at this place. And crazy enough, after being deported, I came back. The people are great though. And so but my podcast that I'm doing, it's the Swarm Soccer. It's all just like small group session, individual session drills, technique, how to kick a ball, soccer for beginners, all the way up to advanced stuff, like how to make a highlight video, when you're looking to go to college, per position. It's just stuff like that. Yeah. So, because the guy I work with actually played for Nashville SC. So he just retired a couple years ago, and he's honestly just an amazing guy. Michael Reed, he captained Nashville, and he's now just wanting to get back to the game. Just be so positive for kids, the environment he wants to create, like have the minds think outside the box and not this like college coaches are going to yell at you, so I'm going to yell at you. No, he's like so chill, super awesome. And he honestly just like deserves the world for what he's doing for the game. Like he is one of those very unique people that are now stepping into the coaching side that are going to change the game just out of conversation, how he carries himself, what he stands for. And I'm excited to see him really take off with his coaching, because the player he was to now the coaching style that he's got, he's one in a million. So that's what that podcast is. I just let him talk. I honestly give him questions and just let him run. So
There you go. Well, thank you, Colleen. This has been so good. We'll definitely have to have you back on sometime soon.
Yes, please. I would love to do this again.
All right. Well,
All right.
without further ado, I love you.
Bye.
Love you. See you.
Thank you for listening to Be the Light podcast. You can catch us every Thursday on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, you can always email in at bethelightpod@gmail.com. We love ya.